In their final, Akari Watanabe, one of the most popular and flirtatious girls in class. She's outgoing, cheerful, and bold, and she has a first happens for both of them. Jirō doesn't get Shiori, he's paying to live with Jirō. To make matters worse, Shiori is and prove they can be an exemplary couple. Day 1, they planned to use the arrangement only to get closer to Shiori, a different outcome than they imagined. The episode opens on a stormy night. Jirō sleeps dreaming of Shiori, but suddenly Akari wakes him with a start. She insists he stay with her that night, and suggests a strange idea. They watch a horror movie together wearing matching pajamas to earn extra points in the marriage practice program. Suddenly, a blackout plunges the entire building into darkness. Because the doors use fingerprint recognition, both of them are locked out of their rooms. In the pitch black, Akari becomes frightened and clings to Jirō, who can only light their way with his phone flashlight. Though he tries to stay composed, he can't help but notice how vulnerable Akari looks in that moment. They decide to stay together on the sofa, lit by a flameless scented candle Akari had received as a gift, and gradually fall asleep side by side. Next day at school, the couple rankings are posted. To their surprise, Jirō and Akari climb to 12th place, reaching rank B. However, Shiori and Minami, the pair who seemed perfect, receive a low score, leaving everyone puzzled. Later, Jirō catches a cold after an accident in the bathtub. Shiori visits his room to take care of him, bringing food and staying by his side while he sleeps. At one point, she leans in to kiss him but stops, reminding herself that they're not married. A flashback shows middle school when Jirō tried to confess his feelings and Shiori rejected him, not fully understanding how he felt. Meanwhile, Akari appears distracted around her friends, thinking about Jirō more than she wants to admit. She later learns that Jirō thanked her because she was the one who called Shiori to come care for him. Determined, Jirō promises to help Akari get closer to Minami, which excites but also unsettles her. At the end of the episode, Jirō apologizes and calls her by her given name for the first time. The moment surprises Akari and leaves her speechless. In that instant, Akari begins to realize that maybe she actually likes Jirō, even though she hadn't wanted to admit it until now. The episode opens with Akari preparing a bento for Minami. Unsure of her cooking skills, she asks Jirō to taste it first. He offers his opinion. The rolled omelet would taste better if it were sweeter. Annoyed, Akari snaps that it doesn't matter what he thinks. This bento isn't for Jirō, it's for Minami. The next day, Akari finishes the bento and even changes clothes to look prettier when she gives it to him. At that moment, Shiori appears with homemade apple tarts she says she made especially for Minami and reveals that Minami loves sweets. Akari is surprised and confused because she thought otherwise. Frustrated and feeling defeated, she decides not to give her bento to Minami. Later, in a tense moment, Akari tries to seduce Jirō. He stops her and says those things should only be done with someone you truly love, reminding her that she already has Minami. Hurt by his words and discouraged, Akari suggests they stop pretending to be a married couple. Because of that break, their marriage practice score plummets to rank E. Meanwhile, Minami and Shiori rise to rank A. Noticing the situation, Shiori talks to Jirō and suggests he try to fix things with Akari. Jirō follows her advice and goes to apologize. He explains he didn't reject Akari out of contempt, but because he didn't want her to regret it later. He confesses he cares about her and genuinely enjoys spending time together. Moved by his words, Akari forgives him and, in that moment, calls him by his given name for the first time. She also admits that she actually likes him. After the credits, there's a short comic scene. Akari discovers Jirō secretly added sugar to her rolled omelet to make it sweeter without telling her. Furious, she punishes him by forcing him to eat the bitter version. A rumor spreads through the school. Shiori and Minami, one of the class's most popular pairs, have no intention of requesting a partner swap. The news hits Akari hard. She still dreams of becoming Minami's official partner. After PE, Akari meets Minami in the gym storage room. While they clean, Minami confirms the rumor. He won't change partners if Shiori doesn't want to. Hearing this, Akari can't hold back her tears. Minami gently cups her face and asks her to look at him. From a distance, Sadaharu witnesses the moment and misreads it, believing Akari and Minami may have kissed. Meanwhile, Shiori tells Jirō that she and Minami plan to stay together, but she leaves a small hope. If Jirō reaches a rank, a partner change might be possible later. The next day, Akari skips school, calling in sick and staying home. Sadaharu uses the chance to tell Jirō what he saw between Akari and Minami. Jirō pretends to be calm, but doubt begins to gnaw at. Back at the apartment, Jirō finds Akari lying on the sofa staring at her phone. He approaches, but she keeps her distance. In an awkward, sincere moment, he apologizes, not for anything he did, but for not being Minami, for not being the boy she wants. Akari laughs at the absurd apology, then breaks down, confessing she can't get close to Minami the way she wants. With a trembling voice, she asks Jirō not to look at her. He He obeys, hugging her while averting his eyes. Gradually, the mood between them shifts. Akari grows closer. She borrows one of Jiro's jackets, sits beside him, and watches TV with him. Out of nowhere, she asks if he really thought she kissed Minami in the gym. Before Jirō can answer, she reveals something that shocks him. Her first kiss was with him, and to this day he is the only person she's truly kissed. The episode closes with the rankings update. Jirō and Akari rise to 4th place, while Shiori and Minami sit in 3rd. Their relationship advances unexpectedly, and emotions between them begin to deepen. The day begins with Jirō and Akari's usual routine as a practice couple. She helps him straighten his tie before class, hugs him goodbye, and like a real wife reminds him not to forget taking out the trash. Gradually, those small gestures stop feeling like mere formalities and start to feel all too real. At school, an unexpected twist occurs. Mei, Shiori's friend, swaps cleaning shifts, so Shiori will be paired with Jirō for the core, giving them time alone. Shiori agrees, though nerves betray her, and during lunch Mei urges her to take a step, either confess her feelings or at least steal a kiss. Akari watches from a distance. She notices Jirō and Shiori's closeness, and while she pretends not to care, something inside her burns. That night, Jirō stands on the balcony, lost in thought, regretting that he hasn't moved things forward with Shiori. Akari appears with 2 cups of warm milk. They share an intimate moment, and amid laughter and hesitation, Akari asks him to call her by her given name. Jirō does, but immediately pulls back, uncomfortable. She presses him, annoyed at the distance he keeps, even as she finds herself increasingly wrapped up in a relationship that's supposed to be fake. Days pass and the school announces a new challenge, a surprise exam that will directly affect the couple's scores. Akari had planned to spend the day with friends, but Jirō convinces her to study together. Reluctant at first, she slowly warms to the study session. The tension between them shifts into a charged atmosphere of complicity and something more. Akari begins to tease him, moving closer and looking at him with eyes that no longer seem to be acting. Jirō, nervous, almost gives in until a sudden nosebleed breaks the moment and leaves them in awkward silence. In that clumsy pause, Jirō reveals something that surprises Akari. He isn't studying just for himself or only to change partners. He's studying for her too. He feels she's been carrying too much of the burden in this pretend relationship, and he genuinely wants to support her. Akari looks at him and realizes the line between lie and reality is blurring more with each passing day. The episode opens with a quote by his surname, Yakuin, instead of using his given name. That small detail bothers Jirō. He feels the closeness they'd built beginning to cool. Unaware of the weight of her words, Akari cheers Jirō and affectionately dries his hair with a towel. The touch reminds him of the rejected catch. Shiori is struck hard in the head by a soccer ball and falls unconscious. She's taken to the infirmary, and Mei asks Jirō about the marriage practice. And what seems like a deliberate moment becomes an accidental kiss when they misjudge the timing. At the cafe, where Minami works but can't shake her upset. When she returns home, she finds Jirō asleep on the sofa after eating Sachi's chocolates, unaware they contained alcohol. Annoyed at having been tricked, realizes he fell for her tease, while Akari laughs, leaving her heart racing. She notices awkward moments between Jirō and Shiori, Sachi and Natsumi, urging her to be honest with herself about what she really feels for Jirō. To distract her, they encourage Akari to go to the fireworks festival and suggest she use the chance Jirō to help her put on her yukata properly. The scene is in she wants to look beautiful to catch Minami's attention. Together, assumes they're on a date. Her heart breaks. In reality, Minami was heading to work, and Shiori was in his arms. Back at the apartment, they step out onto the balcony to watch the Jirō to re-tee her face as fireworks light the night sky. Haunted by the image of Akari crying the night before and wondering what he did wrong, Akari checks her daily fortune on her phone and gets a bad result, leaving her feeling down and insecure about her situation with Jirō. The next day, the couple rankings are revealed. They're number 13, which means another month together as partners. Akari forces a smile, tells Jirō. Akari bursts into the bathroom where Jirō is bathing, shouting that she saw a spider in the living room and begging him to rescue her. Jirō, startled, says he needs a towel and clothes first. Akari panics and drags him along to search, teasing that she'd rather have him as her husband if she ever needs rescuing again. In the intimate chaos, Akari paints her nails, asks Jirō for some ice cream, and flirts with the idea of physical contact. He responds with shy, nervous gestures. Shiori finds the courage to talk to Minami about the kiss with Jirō, admitting she's afraid to fully express her feelings. Minami encourages her to be bolder and not let fear hold her back. That evening, Terafune says he'll eat out and suggests Mei and Shiori spend time together. Mei initially agrees but then backs out, leaving Shiori a little discouraged. Bored, Akari texts Jirō asking if they can go out in a few hours. He agrees. Their outing feels like a real date. A cafe, a cat cafe, a walk, snacks, arcade games. They take a photo under a rainbow. And when Akari remembers she forgot to buy a charm at a shrine, she runs back for it with Jirō following. On the way, they cross paths with Shiori, heightening the emotional tension. The episode closes with the new rankings. Jirō and Akari have climbed dramatically to 4th place, while Shiori and Minami sit in 3rd. Their relationship has grown stronger, and feelings between them continue to deepen. The episode opens with an announcement at school. The marriage practice program will continue to be evaluated through the end of July, right before summer break. The students are surprised. Now they must keep performing as a married couple for longer than expected. That same day, Sadaharu invites Jirō to work at a beach cafe. His brother will open for a special event. Jirō hesitates at first because he's uncomfortable dealing with customers, but he immediately changes his mind when he learns that Shiori and Mei also applied for the temporary jobs. Later at home, Akari surprises Jirō by showing him a rather daring bikini. The sight makes him nervous and embarrassed while Akari watches him with amusement. She also admits she would feel lonely if she weren't near him during the holidays, revealing a softer, more vulnerable side. On the day of the job, Jirō discovers that not only Shiori and Mei will be there, but Akari and several of her friends, including Sachi and Natsumi. The beach setting brings a light, summery atmosphere that heightens the tension among everyone. During the shift, Shiori begins to show new confidence. She works close to Jirō, talks to him naturally, and at one point guides him in decorating a parfait with whipped cream. Their closeness creates a charged, romantic moment that becomes both comic and intimate when Jirō accidentally gets a bit of cream on Shiori's face. Watching from nearby, Akari can't help feeling jealous. Even though she still has feelings for Minami, she starts to question security about her own heart. The episode closes with everyone spending time together at the beach cafe. Underscoring that this summer day moments, Akari can't help feeling uneasy, watching Jirō talk so naturally with Shiori. Jealousy begins to stir inside her. Later, Jirō and Akari are sent to buy snacks and drinks for the group. On the way, some guys approach and start flirting with Akari, putting her in an awkward spot. Jirō steps, he takes the initiative and begins applying lotion to his back. The closeness of the moment leads her to confess how she's been feeling, that he seemed distant and cold lately, and it hurts to think her feelings might not be returned the same way. As the hours pass, the heat takes its toll, and Jirō is out alone in the beach cabin. Gathering her courage, she tells him she's before her, and that all she wants is his genuine. Works a quiet nervousness. He wonders if she's upset about something from before. Akari acts normally but feels unsure, hangs in every glance and prolonged silence. The class heads to the courage event, where students pair up to face a series of daring challenges. Shiori, uncomfortable being near Jirō, blurts that she would rather be with him than with her current partner, creating an awkward atmosphere. Jirō senses Shiori's unease and feels trapped, unsure how to respond to her indirect confession. Sadaharu steps in to help. He quietly rearranges pairings so Jirō and Akari can be matched with Minami and Shiori respectively, avoiding further misunderstandings and keeping the competitors at a distance. His discreet intervention lets the event proceed without forcing anyone into painful proximity. During the event, Akari loses her phone while walking through the school halls. Jirō and Minami immediately split up to search, both worried and tense. The search gives Akari unexpected freedom to move around, which raises the emotional stakes as everyone begins to worry about where she might be. Jirō finds Akari's phone and runs into Shiori on the way. He and Shiori end up standing together in the rain, the weather mirroring their tangled emotions. The rain becomes symbolic, blurring boundaries, reflecting confusion and heightening a silent attraction. Neither knows how to act on as they get soaked. Elsewhere, Minami finds Akari. Embarrassed and flustered, she tries to explain her feelings for him while admitting she still has emotions for Jirō. The conversation reveals her inner conflict. She's torn and unsure how to handle divided feelings, while Minami listens and tries to comfort her. Later, Jirō and Shiori meet again inside a festival stall. They spend time together attempting to stay composed, but both are unsettled by what they feel. Shiori is nervous. Jirō struggles to understand his own emotions and the pull he still feels toward Akari. The encounter forces both into quiet introspection. Jirō agrees to an impromptu date with Akari at the event. They wander the fair together, visiting food stalls, a cafe, and a cat cafe, sharing moments that feel surprisingly like a real date. Akari smiles, though thoughts of Minami and Jirō tug at her attention. Jirō tries to enjoy the time but remains anxious, questioning what the outing means for their relationship. At the end of the date, Akari remembers she forgot to buy a good luck charm at a nearby shrine and dashes off. Jirō follows, protective and quick to catch up. Their impulsive sprint highlights their dynamic. Akari bold and spontaneous, Jirō quietly watchful and caring. At the shrine, the two unexpectedly meet Shiori again. The three interact politely but with an undercurrent of unresolved feelings. They each offer silent prayers. Akari asks for clarity about her emotions. Jirō wishes for things to resolve rightly. And Shiori tries to reconcile her admiration for Jirō with the complicated situation. The scene symbolizes how their hearts are becoming intertwined and how each must face those feelings. The episode closes with Jirō and Akari returning home together, tired but emotionally fuller. The day's closeness strengthens their bond. Though no full confessions are made, a silent understanding grows between them. The final shot shows them walking side by side toward their residence, calm and hopeful that, in time, their feelings will find their path.